Today on Go Island, we are meeting the Ancestor. It's a project here at L'École Oceane, a French school in Nanaimo. Underneath the mascot, if I can call it that, is local artist Joanne Gallipeau. On today's show, working through dementia together, one family's story, our national horse, a herd in Cedar, and on the road to the Western Canada Conference. That and more in the next 30 minutes. Loving the hugs from the grade 7 students here at L'École Oceane, and that's about as much French as I know. Joanne Gallipeau is heading up a project called the Ancestor. And what are these girls doing, and how does it fit into what the project is?
Well, they've discovered one of their ancestors through doing different activities, and they've made up a giant puppet, and they're performing with the puppet now.
Why is it important, do you think, for people, especially of French ancestry, perhaps to connect with the generations past in their families?
Well, I think like when you connect with your ancestors, you connect with yourself. And that some of these children have, they've discovered all kinds of stories about their grandparents, their great uncle, great aunt. Some people came from different countries. They had all kinds of different interesting stories.
And we're going to look at some of those stories.
Yeah.
You can see them on the wall in art form, and we're going to look at some of those more closely later on this edition of Go Island. How is art the perfect medium to bring out some of these stories and some of these connections?
Because art, I think you let go of lots of inhibition when you do art. And I don't know, there's the better part of you that come out.
What's it like working with the kids?
Yeah, oh, it's wonderful. It's great. They have all kinds of ideas. They're very dynamic. Yeah. And they're curious. They want to know about their ancestors. Every day there's someone who comes to me and says, oh, guess what? I discovered that I have a great uncle that did this, or a great aunt, and they all have different stories to share, and they couldn't wait to start school to see me and the school to come and tell me the stories. So it tells me that they have an interest for their ancestors.
Excellent. Thank you. We're going to look, as I mentioned, at some of those stories later on this edition of Go Island. We'll talk to some of the students, and we'll talk about how it's all culminating this week. It's been a 2-week project here at L'École Oceane. There are more than 70,000 individuals and families who live with dementia in British Columbia. Here is one of those stories now. On Tuesday, that's April the 23rd, Jim Mann will be speaking at Bevan Park Rec Centre about Alzheimer's. The Alzheimer's Society of British Columbia is pushing for a provincial plan to end and avert a crisis in the area of dementia amongst the British Columbia population. You are watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. Today, we are spending some time with the students of L'École Oceane. It's an entirely French school here in Nanaimo, and they've been working on a project called the Ancestor with artist Joanne Gallipeau, and we're going to look at some of the stories that they have created through art and looking back through their family trees later on this edition of Go Island. There's a local horse breeder who has been dedicated and actually succeeded in making the Canadian breed of horse Canada's national horse, and his dedication continues to preserving and evolving the breed. Here's Rand LaPlante. You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. Bonjour! Y'all say hello to Mommy out there. Bonjour, Mama! You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. And these are kindergarten to grade 3 or 4 students who have been working on the Ancestor project here at L'École Oceane with Joanne Gallipeau. And some of these students are going to tell me, this girl's just bursting at the seams. What are you doing?
I don't know.
You're doing a banana dance. Who is your mask? Who is your mask?
The person that gave the dog to my grandpa that died, who gave me the dog.
And did you learn about this through the project that you guys have been working on?
Yeah.
What does it feel like to know the family that was before you?
I don't know, really.
And how does the banana dance fit in? It looks so funny. Okay, we're gonna let her continue on with her banana dance, and we're gonna find out about your mask. What are you wearing?
I'm wearing my grandpa's.
How many grades is that? Great. 5 grades?
Yes.
Wow. How long ago was that?
I'm thinking around 1674.
And how did you go back that far? How did you find out about this?
Well, my dad told me, and he's a guy that my grandpa won the won the war, and he got a medal from the prince from England.
Wow, that's pretty special to know that. What's about the mask that you're wearing?
It's about my dad who traveled almost everywhere about the whole earth, almost the whole earth.
So he was an adventurer.
Yeah, and he used to be in the wars, but he's not anymore.
Okay.
And he's still alive.
He's still, wow, fantastic. You look like you've got something to say. Now there is a little girl over here. I'm going to get up and move. We'll come back in a minute, but she doesn't speak English, so we're going to have the principal Annie translate. What is your mask?
C'est quoi ton masque?
You can
Tu as fait
answer
le
in
masque
French.
de...
And
Est-ce
French
que
is
c'est ta
fine.
grand-maman? Est-ce que c'est... Tu peux répondre en français, je vais traduire.
Oh, getting a little camera shy, maybe.
C'est sa grand-maman. It's the grandmother. OK, comment elle s'appelle, ta grand-maman?
Cécile.
Oh, Cécile. Her name was Cécile.
Oh, okay. Is she still living?
Est-ce qu'elle est encore vivante, ta grand-maman? Oui. Est-ce qu'elle habite ici, en Colombie-Britannique? No, she doesn't live here in BC, hein?
Okay.
Where does she live? Où est-ce qu'elle habite?
Au Québec.
Oh,
In
she's in
Quebec.
Quebec.
Yeah. Sometimes I wish I lived in Quebec. This little girl has a story to share. What's your mask?
Grandmother too.
Grandmother too. And we've met you before. They're all starting to look a little bit similar, and everybody's staring at me. You have a story to tell. Okay. Go ahead.
This is my great grandparent that
What did he do? What did you learn about your great grandpa? And what did he do that you know about?
you don't know.
You don't know, she says. But I think the mask is beautiful. It's very artistic, and you're bursting at the seams with something to say. What about your mask?
I have a great grandma and a great grandpa, but they kept on going on trips when they were teenagers and stuff, and my grandpa died,
Yeah.
and my grandma's still alive.
And did you get to see her?
Yeah.
Fabulous. All of these kids have been participating in a project called the Ancestor. It's here at L'École Oceane. It's been running for the past 2 weeks. We'll be back with more on this edition of Go Island. Still ahead today on Go Island, the Western Canada Conference is coming to Nanaimo, and Kale Slaw with your island chef. That and more still ahead today on Go Island. You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. Juno nominee Chad Brownlee is the headliner for the opening concert of the WCC coming to Nanaimo. That's the Western Canada Conference in hockey, April 26th until May the 5th. And it turns out that he used to actually play for the BCHL 10 years ago. And that got Dan Marshall thinking about where these particular 4 Nanaimo Clippers are going to be themselves in 10 years. We are being energized by the kids here today at L'École Oceane. It's a project called the Ancestor, and we've had a little glimpse into some of the students and what they've discovered about their own ancestors in their family tree. It's a project that has been going for about the last 2 weeks, led by local artist Joanne Gallipeau. It's an entirely French school, and how does what they've been doing here in the Ancestor project fit into your curriculum and learning outcomes?
Yeah, well, in a lot of ways, actually. Joanne came to me last year with the project L'Ancestor, and right away I thought, oh, this is perfect, the projet parfait for a school, because it does integrate all the, learning outcomes and all that, like drama, arts.
No energy or drama here whatsoever.
Drama, arts, writing, speaking, all those skills, but as well, we have additional goals in our schools. Individual, your cultural identity, it's very important for our children, because being Francophone in an Anglophone environment, you don't always have the Francophone part of your family close to you. And often, the roots, the nice stories about grandma or grandpa, they get lost, after a few times here. So this was great. Also, we have the philosophy. We're going towards what we call école communautaire citoyenne, which is
I have no idea what that means.
Which is like we all, you also have the community school, which usually is like I don't know, there's the basketball after school, things like that. But what we're trying to do for our community is more like an integration. The community comes in the school, and our students, they belong to the community to expand, So we work together, and Joanne did a great job at doing that, because she went to the Association Francophone, and we had people from our community, grandmas and grandpas for our community who came to the school, and the kids had the chance to interview them, and they also went home, talked to their parents, find out all those stories. They made so it was a great project. We're really happy.
Yeah. And we're thankful that we were invited to share some of it with you. Thank you very much. And the kids have seemed to have embraced it wholeheartedly. It's been a pleasure to spend time here at L'École Oceane today. We're going to throw things over now to your island chef, Michael Williams. It's another look at kale slaw. That brings us to the end of this edition of Go Island. Would be happy to visit you to host a future edition. All you need to do is send an email to kate.bergen@sjrb.ca. And we are booking 2 to 3 weeks in advance right now. So almost first come, first serve. If you've got something fun going on, we'd love to hang out with you. Thanks for watching this edition of Go Island. We'll see you next time.